Got dragged to a blind date. To make the other person back off. I made up a story, I can't have kids. The handsome guy across from me looked surprised. Oh, what a coincidence, I can't father any. I just took off my coat, showing the tight t-shirt underneath. He raised an eyebrow, showing off his fancy Chelsea boots. Found my match. Spring is here. Everything's coming back to life. My mom is all about pushing for marriage. I just do the blind date thing for show. My mom's cool, except for one thing, she's super competitive. Ever since her friends started becoming grandmas, she's been secretly stressing out. First thing she asks every morning is whether I've found someone yet. When I was a kid and wanted a dog, she said, no way. Now she wants a grandchild. I say, not happening. I'm only 25. But with her scheduling 10 blind dates a week, anyone would think I'm 55. She's got a temper, and I'm stubborn. To keep the peace and avoid unnecessary mother-daughter clashes, I go to every blind date set up. And every time I leave with nothing. It's not that I'm picky. It's just that matchmakers these days, they really don't pick and choose for the guys. As long as they pay, she'd talk up even the dead ones. Every word from her is like a scam. The last guy, she said he had a company with thousands of employees. Turned out he was a beekeeper. The one before that, she said he was a great cook. Turned out he had one arm. The one before that, she said he was athletic, 6 feet. Turns out he looked like a giant Kinder egg. She argued, even if he's only 5'3", when he jumps, he's 6 feet. You should be in a pyramid scheme, not matchmaking. And it gets more ridiculous. She said someone was quiet and reserved. Turned out he was in a vegetative state. That's not quiet, that's can't talk at all. The most absurd was when she set me up with a murderer. And she assured me. He's reformed, doesn't kill anymore. He didn't kill me on the way here. In summary, matchmakers have zero credibility. But my mom's a true believer. She keeps arranging blind dates for me. As soon as I'm out the door, she video calls me, grinning knowingly. Sweetie, make sure you dress nicely, this one's a real catch. Ha. I gave a half-hearted smile. You see, even the matchmaker couldn't hype this one. Imagine how bad he must be. Seeing my face, my mom frowned. Hold the phone away and let me see what you're wearing today. Because of that one time, I wore my grandma's clothes to scare the guy off. She doesn't trust me. So I did as she asked. Khaki trench coat, beige heels. Satisfied, she nodded. I gave a knowing smile looking at the ended call. She may have her plans, but I've got my strategies. Showing up doesn't mean it'll work out. I'm all about making the guy back off. I buttoned up my coat, secretly showing a hint of bright red. We're meeting at a cafe. Mainly because I've been here 7 or 8 times. Always order an espresso. That way, as I sip and look at him, I won't feel so bad for myself. When I arrived, it was 5 minutes before the agreed time. He texted saying he was already there. My instincts kicked in as I looked around. Anyone a matchmaker can't honestly hype must be the least appealing in the room, or close to it. A quick glance around. Spotted 2 with balding heads. Oh boy. And one handsome guy from the back. Wearing a black suit, very sharp. Just as I was about to pick one of the balding guys, a message popped up on my phone. Date number 10, at table 1, I'm in black. Table 1? I looked over there. And saw the handsome guy from before turning his head. Ridiculously good looking, pale skin. We locked eyes. He seemed to confirm something, raising an eyebrow. Wow. So handsome. Would dig my hands into dirt to calm down. I quietly approached and took a seat. Karina. He offered a slender, well-proportioned hand for a shake. His sleeves rolled up, veins visible. Henry. The warm touch made me shiver. Quickly grabbed my coffee and took a big gulp. The bitterness made my scalp tingle. Any inappropriate thoughts vanished. I aimed to make him back off. My go-to move, put the pressure on him. I made it look like I was sizing him up. What's your education? I don't like low-educated types. The last suit guy said he almost finished grad school. Undergrad's fine, I thought. Next second he said he didn't finish elementary due to certain events. Mind-blowing. Henry sighed. I might have imagined it. His tone was regretful. Barely a PhD. And handed over his degree certificate. Half believing, I took a look. It read, Doctorate in Computer Science from Oxford University. Closed it silently. Got myself in a bit of a fix. Changed the topic. How many houses? I've got many relatives and we'd all live together post-marriage. Over the top, right? Even my mom would be tempted to slap me. We're actually a single-child family. Where do all those relatives come from? Oh, I love a full house, got more places than I can stay in. He said and pulled out a plastic bag. With heaps of keys jingling. It was like a scene from a surreal play. He wins this round. I cleared my throat. I only consider 6-foot-plus guys. The last one claimed 6 feet but wasn't even close to my height. Fudging a few inches, I'd get that. Yet his alleged 6 feet didn't even match my 5 feet 9 inches. Even ancient rulers would resurrect just to standardize measurements. He smirked, eyes filled with amusement. His posture relaxed, yet he kept an air of casual elegance. Whether he's 6 feet, I didn't know, but the guy in front of me was definitely 6 feet 2 inches. No way, what's up with you, matchmaker? Why did you flip the script? You claimed he'd be a catch, and wow, you weren't wrong. Couldn't pick a fault on him. I had no choice but to go down fighting. Mustering all my courage, I gave a determined look. I fibbed, to be honest, I can't have kids. Pretty harsh, right? To my surprise, his expression barely changed. He said, nonchalantly smirking. Well, that's a coincidence, I can't either. I've met my match. Had to bring out the big guns. I took a deep breath and removed my jacket. Revealed my tight-fitting t-shirt with a bold design. The air filled with gasps around me. I spoke passionately. They laugh at my madness, I laugh at their inability to see. Oh, I love my shirt. Then I looked at him expectantly. This was crazy enough, right? His look was curiously amused, then he flashed a charming grin. Underneath the table, he subtly lifted his foot. A pair of golden Chelsea boots shimmered. He announced cheerfully. I love my golden boots. I just couldn't hold it together anymore. I was pretending, but he seemed dead serious. Is there such a need to go this far? Like really? Come on, man, can't you just admit defeat? His soft chuckle, rising from deep within, teased me. Won't. He said mockingly. I clenched my fist, ready to bolt when my phone rang. My mom's voice was clear as day, even without speakerphone. Daughter, how's it going with Henry? That kid's brilliant. Honestly, you're a perfect match. She went on about my childhood antics. When you were little, you picked on him 'cause you grew early. You made him play the pig to your monk. The more I listened, the more confused I got. Why did it sound like my mom knew him? Mom, isn't he someone the matchmaker set up? She scoffed. No way. That matchmaker's got terrible taste. Honestly, it's a miracle you've stuck through so many. Henry's your old neighbor's son, back from the States. Old memories flooded back. Faces from my past blurred into focus. I hung up the phone, looking up in disbelief. I was met with a playful gaze. He smiled, the corners of his mouth slowly curling up. In a quieter voice, Big Brother Pigsy. His long-ago nickname hit me hard. I wasn't joking, if I hadn't seen it myself, I'd never believe it. Could 10 years really change someone so much? I'd known him since I was 3 until we parted ways at 15. He was always so fragile looking. Being a preemie, he was short and skinny, seemed to wilt at a breeze. Plus, he was strikingly fair and pretty. The spitting image of a medieval beauty. The first time I saw him was in winter. His family had just moved next door. My mom brought gifts, taking me to visit. From afar, I saw a woman holding a tiny bundle. The child was rosy-cheeked, wrapped warmly in a fluffy coat. Like a cherub from a painting. I blurted out. "What a pretty little girl." The small figure flinched in disbelief. The woman stifled her laughter. She said Henry was my age, actually 2 days older. My eyes widened. Her 3 looked nothing like my 3. So big versus so small. I asked innocently. "Auntie, are kids expensive? Why did the phone store send you such a tiny one?" I gestured with my fingers. If I got on Mom's nerves, she'd say she picked me up for topping off her phone credit. The more credit, the better the kid. Mom hadn't the chance to cover my mouth. She just awkwardly chuckled. Before Auntie replied, Henry broke free. He raised his chin and scoffed. "Fool, you were tricked, we were found in the trash." Their eyes met, humorously turning away to hide their faces. I held great faith in myself. No way, Mom couldn't lie to me. Henry must have been tricked. So, I patted his head kindly. "Don't worry, you're young, grown-ups love to fib." Something I said got to him. His mouth shut tight, eyes welled up, lashes glittering. I was lost. I recalled how Dad soothed Mom. So, I inched closer and gave him a peck. He blinked in confusion before bursting into tears. "Wah, Mom, she's being inappropriate." Auntie giggled, comforting him. I glanced at Mom nervously. She took a deep breath, her face twitching. I instinctively shielded my tiny rear. Oh. I was in trouble again. Mom didn't punish me then. But restricted my dinner. That was worse than a scolding. "How's one bowl filling?" I usually devoured 3. Maybe it was genetics. I towered over peers. The doctor said I was just developing early, nothing to worry about, aside from an oversized appetite. Mom patiently explained, "Sweetie, ease up a bit. Your growth's overwhelming. No one will believe you're 3, 5 might be more convincing." I whined, "But I'm hungry." "You eat this much, who's gonna play with you?" True. They thought I was too big, they avoided me. But no problem. There's a new little girl to play with now. "Mom, is our neighbor tiny 'cause she doesn't eat much?" After hesitation, Mom nodded, suggesting it was due to unabsorbed maternal nutrition. I got it. Thinking of making her cry earlier. I crept to my room, grabbing Coco, then marched next door. Our family raised pigs. Coco, runt of the litter. Born almost lifeless. I brought it back and fed it formula every day. Now, it's almost been a month, and it has grown strong and fair, just like me. I knocked on the door. My uncle opened it. "I came to play with my sister," I said. He didn't get it at first, and after a few seconds, he burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha, Henry, get out here and play with your sister, ha ha ha, see what happens when you don't eat your food, ha ha ha." My sister was still mad but started crying again when she saw me. Like a little faucet. Oh well. I wiped her tears with my little hands. "I'm sorry, sis, don't cry. I'll give you my good friend." Coco made a little noise, catching her attention, and just like that, the tears stopped. I unzipped my puffer jacket and handed Coco to her. But I forgot Coco was almost as big as her. She stumbled back a few steps and plopped down on the ground. Her lip quivered like a little duck, she was about to cry again. I quickly covered her mouth and introduced my friend. "This is Coco. She sniffled and gently poked Coco's tail. Is this my pet? She asked. I nodded, then shook my head. My mom says if you eat more, you'll grow faster. When it grows up, we can steam it, braise it, or make soup. Sis, you should eat more then. It's so delicious. My mouth watered just thinking about it. I held Coco's tail and hid it behind me. Seeing my sister accept Coco, I tilted my head and asked, so you forgive me? She nodded her head. Now, are we friends? I asked. She turned her head away and said, who wants to be friends with you? Huh. All right then. What was it called, losing the wife and the army too? Well, that's okay. I'll ask again tomorrow. Every day, I went to find my sister, asking her to be my friend. I even gave her the one candy I was allowed each day. She ate the candy, saying she'd think about it. Mom joked I had a talent for being a simp since I was little. I didn't get what simp meant. But Dad proudly said he wouldn't have gotten Mom to marry him if he hadn't persisted like a true simp. He always said, if you simp long enough, you get everything you want. So it must be a good thing. I puffed out my chest, thanks for the compliment, Mom. My mom laughed until she cried. I didn't get what was so funny. Actually, I'm pretty smart. My sister is the most beautiful kid I've ever seen. Being friends with her would make me look so good. A month passed. I went to my sister with candy as usual, asking her to be my friend. She swallowed but waved her hand. Sorry, we're already friends. I shouldn't have tricked you for your candy, my tooth hurts. I was stunned. Sis, why do you sound like that? She reluctantly uncovered her mouth, revealing a gap where a tooth had been. Too much candy had made holes. I gasped. Good thing I prefer meat over sugar. Sis, is bamboo shoots stir-fried with pork tasty? Unlike her pickiness, I eat everything. Even things by the road, my mom says. My sister whispered, it's so good, I could cry. My eyes lit up. I wanted to try it. But then her little face scrunched up. Fine. I knew what it tasted like. Like stewed ears, disaster in waiting. Being friends with her was great. I wanted to show off. So I took her to the park. You guys don't want to be friends with me? Well, I don't want to play with you either. Look, my friend is cuter. But before I could say anything, they pointed at her and laughed. Oh, look who's here again. They were bullying my friend. I held her hand tightly and faced them down. They stepped back and pointed at her, unsure. Is this the friend you were talking about? She stood tall, yes. If you bully me, she will eat you. She can eat 3. Just like in the storybooks. They turned pale. But I was shocked. I only eat 3 bowls of rice. How did it become 3 people? I moved to explain, but before I knew it, they ran off in fear, saying, don't come over, we won't bully her again. My friend got hit with fake rumors. She patted my back, comforting me, it's okay. They won't play with you, I will. We'll be lifelong buddies. That afternoon, she came with her bowl to eat with me. She asked, are we friends now? I nodded. Then can you help me eat some of my food? Why? I asked, swallowing. Her food looked so good. But then I remembered, to grow faster, you have to eat more. She was too short. She swung my hand, I can't finish it. It's too much, and I can't waste it. You're my friend, help me a little. Mom said not to waste food either. So, I nodded vigorously, digging into her bowl. I didn't notice her hiding her giggles, with her hand over her missing tooth. Every day, at mealtime, she brought her bowl and found me. We sat on little stools in the sun, eating. She always returned with an empty bowl, getting praised for it. She was happy, and so was I. Mom and Aunt were pleased, saying we were grown-ups now. But one noon, as I was digging into her bowl and she was playing with ants, a voice startled us. My mom and aunt stood with their chicken feathers, furious. My mom shouted, "Karina, are you crazy?" Her mom, "Henry, you're gonna get it." My mom said it's no wonder I'm getting bigger while my sister is almost disappearing. Turns out all the food ends up in my belly. They exchanged a knowing look and took us back home. The next day, my sister and I were rubbing our sore butts, looking at each other through the window. We lost our freedom to eat as we wanted. The day I realized my sister wasn't really my sister. It was pouring rain. My sister and I were playing in the yard. Soon, we were soaked to the bone. Auntie Chin took my sister's hand, and my mom took mine. They kept saying they'd spank us later while dragging us to get cleaned up and changed. I pulled away from my mom and hugged Auntie's leg. I wanted to bathe with my sister. The TV said good friends should do everything together. My sister shook her head like a rattle. She fought back fiercely. "No way. I'm a boy and you're a girl." I didn't believe it. My mom explained with a switch for a long time until I had to accept that my best friend was actually a boy. I cried my heart out. I couldn't handle my pretty sister turning into a fragile brother. According to my mom, I usually cry in an annoying way, but that day I was silent, as if I had lost my parents. She felt too bad to really punish me. Auntie's family liked me a lot. Seeing me so upset, Uncle Lou jokingly said I could marry Henry and play with him forever. My dad's face turned dark. I cried even harder. Henry was too weak, I didn't want to marry him. Then Henry, wiping my tears with his little hand, seriously said, "Then I'll marry you." That was okay with me. Suddenly, I stopped crying. That turned Uncle's face grim. My dad just laughed it off. Henry would marry me someday, so we could always be best friends. That thought made me happy. I heard couples would walk their dogs in the park at night. So I grabbed Henry, and we took our little pig Flower out for a walk. Coco had piglets just last month. People on the street smiled at us. A couple of adults said we were country. I've never heard that word before. Neither had Henry. Because of our sizes. I looked like a bully, and Henry looked like he'd be bullied. So parents were not really at ease. We had private tutors at home before finally going to school. Away from our parents' watchful eyes, Henry was like a wild horse. He completely showed his true colors. My academic disinterest was subtle, but he practically wore it on his face. With the same allowance, I had all my school supplies, but he didn't even have a backpack. He picked up pens no one wanted and used my leftover erasers. He could make a piece of scrap paper last a week. He'd buy me Haagen-Dazs for $58 without batting an eye. But he wouldn't spend $5, $8 on a notebook. All about no cash for school stuff. Back then, it was trendy to fold pineapples and cannons out of paper. He wouldn't buy a notebook. So he tore up his own books, filling a drawer with creations. If it weren't for fear of punishment, he'd rip mine too. I finally understood why Auntie always called him a pretty boy. His gentle appearance served mainly as a facade. Unrelated to his actual personality in the slightest. He used his brains, I used my brawn. We mingled with older kids, playing marbles and trading cards. Once we got bored, we'd sell them second-hand. Even under his instigation, we cut class to catch worms, sneak up trees, or fish. Afterward, the principal's fortune tree was stripped to nothing. The goldfish died from fright. The principal said if Henry weren't so cute, he'd have been punished long ago. Our clothes were always either dirty or torn every day. My mom even suspected I wasn't attending class but was part of a special forces mission. A teacher found us. She asked what our parents did for a living. He said mining. I said pig farming. The teacher comforted us, saying labor is honorable, patting Henry's head, and gave us forms for financial aid. Henry was completely confused. Teacher, we own a private coal mine. She hesitated and started handing me a form. I said, "Teacher, we have 300,000 pigs. We never did well in school. Even hidden well, the truth came out with our report cards. 100 points max. I scored 50, he scored 25. At first, Auntie and my mom attended parent-teacher meetings. But it happened so often, neither wanted to come anymore. They argued back and forth. Auntie said, since Henry would be family, my mom should go. Mom said I'd eventually call Auntie Mom. She should go. Eventually, they gave up and just punished us both. When we started middle school, the school held a talent show, and the teacher wanted us to perform. I learned the Eru, Henry the Swona. The teacher asked us to pick something else. I figured we should do a skit. We settled on Gao Laozhuang's wedding. I rewrote the script. We argued over roles. Henry refused to play a part. I told him to look in the mirror. He looked nothing like Zhu Beiji. I'm taller, heavier, and stronger. He frowned so hard. If you don't agree, we'll sing, The Widow Goes to the Grave. His expression changed. Fine. Of course, another reason he agreed was that I told him we'd only do one scene. In reality, it was two. On show day, there were props of fake mountains on stage. The audience was packed. Henry's character was being teased by two officers. Just when he was at a loss, I, playing Zhu Beiji, swooped in and heroically saved him. My heroic entrance captivated him. The crowd burst into laughter. When rehearsing in private, he resisted when the lines didn't match the original. I accused him of not understanding the sketch. Looking at him, I couldn't hold back and ended up putting a bit of personal emotion into the performance. Bent over, excitedly rubbing my hands together. Hee, I'm the strong one, I'll carry the girl. I easily carried him on my back. Familiar music started playing behind us. I spun around the stage twice, getting more into it each lap. Cheers rose from all around, filling the place with a joyous vibe. He buried his head in my neck, refusing to lift it, blushing to the ears. With anger and embarrassment in his voice, he said, "Stop spinning, put me down." I stopped behind the curtain. However, the music didn't stop. Instead, there came a narration on the big screen. Falling in love with the benefactor at first sight, they made a lifelong commitment to each other and are marrying tonight, holding a grand banquet. But due to excitement, drank too much, and ended up revealing the true self in front of everyone. The background changed to a festive red. Henry realized too late that something was wrong. I pressed him into a chair. Picked up the red veil beside me. He stiffly grabbed my hand, looking utterly panicked and incredulous. "Did you improvise? I'm not playing along. Let me go." I leaned in, whispering, "Too late, you don't want our class to come last, do you?" While he was quiet, I quickly put the veil over him. Then put on a fake belly and a custom pig headpiece. I threw on a red robe. The curtain opened on the stage again. Seeing my outfit, there was a commotion from the audience. The music changed at that moment. As I lifted the veil, the shock, fear, and despair in Henry's eyes matched that of a seasoned actor. It was exactly the effect I wanted. Real enough. With the pig head on, I tiptoed and lunged forward excitedly shouting. He instinctively took 2 steps back. Turned around and staggered away. "Stay away." He ran, and I chased. The entire venue was a mess, but there was no escape. As the music ended, I chased him behind the curtains. The audience enjoyed it so much. The sitting leaders were laughing hard, saying, "What a pair of clowns." Later, our class won first place in the competition. Our performance even made it to the local TV station. Schoolmates would laugh when they saw us, saying Henry was like my child bride, even saying he looked like a girl. Henry was so mad he didn't speak to me for days, pretending to be sick to skip school. I followed suit but forgot he was a pro at this. I said I had a stomachache, and my mom took me to the hospital for a checkup. Wherever the doctor pressed, I said it hurt. He asked if my chest hurt first. I nodded without thinking. Until I was laid on the operating table, I realized something was wrong. But it was too late. When I woke from anesthesia, I saw Henry sitting by the bed, looking at me with a very complicated expression. He sighed and said, "You can't become an Air Force pilot now." That day, I earned Henry's forgiveness but lost my appendix. Maybe fearing I'd take it hard, Henry stayed by my bedside for half a month, taking better care of me than my mom did. Henry matured slower physically, but was always mentally more mature than me. It wasn't until I truly hit puberty that I understood why he got red-faced and flustered when teased about marrying me. Jokes from childhood, only one of us took them seriously, and it wasn't him. I told my mom I didn't want to marry Henry. Not that he could marry me. She jokingly asked what my type was. Tall, strong, healthy, smart, good cook, not like him at all. I ticked them off on my fingers, each one opposite of Henry deliberately. He always acted so unwilling, making me look bad. He was the one who said he'd marry me first. Turns out, he was standing outside the door when I opened it, looking hurt and accusing, "Karina, I misjudged you. After all these years, I was wrong." The next day, Henry said goodbye. Mentioned his parents were moving abroad for work. Later, my mom told me it was actually him insisting on going to improve his health. Henry told me to wait and see, saying that tables turn every 30 years. Called me ungrateful and judgmental, so I blocked him everywhere out of anger. We were 15 then. It's been 10 years. The longer I waited, the less mad I felt, nearly forgetting him. Looking at him now, his features are the same, but his vibe and physique are completely different. From the type I could take down easily, to one who could easily take down 5 of me. Okay, maybe a bit exaggerated. Bragged so much to familiar folks, now I couldn't help but blush. No wonder Mom was insistent about dressing nicely. Guess everyone knew. I pinched my earlobe, awkwardly laughed, "Hey, long time no see." He sighed lightly, "Yeah, much longer, and you'd forget me." I choked. This guy, always so bluntly honest. "Then why'd you dress like that knowing it was me today?" He answered, "No choice, prince to follow the princess's style." Not necessary. I stirred the spoon in my drink. You being pushed into this too, right? Fellow suffers getting beat up in childhood, nagged into marriage in adulthood. Unexpectedly, he shot back without thinking, "Of course not, I'm here willingly." I paused. 30 years east, 30 years west. Look at me now. He flexed his muscles. Come on now. Holding a grudge for 10 years just for today? I stared at him for a while. No idea what to say next. Couldn't reminisce. I'm heading home. Where to eat later? 2 voices overlapped. He frowned, reluctantly said, "Really? Now that it's me, you won't even go through the motions?" I confessed, the last few ended at this step too. I mess things up, and not getting cussed out is a win. Just leaving the cafe with dignity is my highest hope. I can't figure out what tickled him so much. He smirked. Looked pretty happy. Can they really compete with me? All these years, your confidence hasn't wavered a bit. He seemed to think of something. Crossed his arms, leaned back. If you want to leave, just go. It's not like I can stop you. I'll just have to tell my mom you weren't interested in me. He leaned in, blinked. You don't want to get scolded by my mom, do you? I have no doubt. If my mom hears that I rejected her ideal son-in-law, I'd get a bamboo shoot stir-fried with pork reprimand at 25. You win. Grumbling, I grabbed my bag and got in his car. If I could have known beforehand, I would have chosen my mom's scolding over having dinner with him. After having Japanese food, he dropped me at my doorstep. Both our phones rang simultaneously. Our moms' voices were deafening. Henry, are you crazy, dressing like that? Karina, are you crazy, dressing like that? Turned my head instinctively. Saw the same shock in his eyes. His mom, my mom, just wait till you get home. Amidst a barrage of mocking and messages from friends, I barely traced the source. Turns out, Henry and I got secretly filmed during dinner. The video got shared by some overzealous netizen on a short video platform. In mere hours, it racked up over 1 million likes. In it, we supported each other walking to his flashy yellow convertible. I was bloated from eating, his shoes didn't fit right. The bright lights highlighted his gold Chelsea boots and my red tight-fit outfit. Clear as day. In the last few seconds, the camera zoomed in on our faces. The comments were buzzing. LOL. Now you need credentials for insanity. Luxury cars, pretty ladies, handsome dudes, alternative style, an all-in-one video. Why wasn't I invited? Do I lack the spirit? A country bumpkin like me wonders how I stumbled upon such trendy content. Is the world really like this now? Didn't sleep well, waking up once. Need to air my teeth to cool them off. OMG, laughed my guts out. Don't make fun of others, it's impolite, I laughed under my blanket. Couldn't be more embarrassed. All initial pretense and awkwardness were out the window. I just couldn't keep it together. Gritted my teeth and shouted. Henry. It's all because of his insistence on having dinner. And driving that flashy car. He guiltily touched the bridge of his nose, his eyes darting about. Mumbled, chill, it's not our first time on TV. Calm down. It's just a little embarrassment. But my mom already suspects why every blind date fails. This dinner was a setup to get us together. If I botched it alone, I'm in for a scolding and maybe even a spanking at home. Worse yet. Future blind dates galore. No way to calm down. I abruptly yanked his tie. I didn't hold back, and he didn't resist, and suddenly his well-crafted face was right in mine. Our foreheads collided, something soft brushed my lips. He froze momentarily. Before I could think, I cried out in pain, Henry, are you crazy? Then, a warm hand gently touched my forehead. With a faint citrus scent. He sighed, resigned, yes, I get it, it's my fault. I looked up, one word at a time, Henry, you have to take responsibility. His mind flashed on something, he was momentarily stunned, his ears turning red. His eyes were darting. Can we move this fast? I punched him. Fast my foot. You have zero responsibility. Any slower and I'll be doomed. Seriously, just tell your mom you weren't interested in me. I'm too grown to get smacked around. How he explains it to his mom is his business. His face went from red to white to blue. A mix of anger and disappointment. Like a puffed up pufferfish. What, so I'm the one who gets to be scolded now? Better you than me. Eyeing his build, I offhandedly said. You're tough, you can take it. He snorted. Karina, you're dumb as a rock. Couldn't we just say we're trying to date? If you insist, that's doable. Could fend off blind dates for a while and give me some peace. I added quietly. But hey, this is your suggestion, don't twist it like I forced you. He rubbed his temples, his eye twitching. What's again? I chuckled dryly, heh. Following Henry's advice, I explained to my mom. Dodged a bullet successfully. Mom beamed, said she knew we had something going on. No sign of the earlier spanking threat. Probably all thanks to Henry. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Online, I stumbled upon some fitting words. Copied it. Posted on social media. True romance isn't riding in a sports car, it's sitting on the back of a scooter, turning your head to hear me over the wind. Equally envious of anyone who can drive. With my pathetic driving, my mom says I only deserve a scooter. Within seconds, a notification popped up. Henry commented, then, without helmets, you get chased by cops on motorcycles, fine $60. Your mouth could put a monastery to shame. The next day, I was woken by Henry's banging. He was pressing the doorbell like it was life and death. Luckily, only 2 apartments on this floor. Besides mine, the other one's unsold. I looked impassively. You better have a good reason. He was wearing an apron, awkwardly coughing. I'm here to feed you. Mom said you eat irregularly. His mom told him to take care of me. Got no choice. All right. Since graduating, I've been living on my own. With my earnings from drawing, I bought a 3-bedroom apartment. Paid for the windows myself, parents for everything else. Living alone is liberating. I eat, sleep, and draw. As a full-time comic artist. Upside-down routine is normal. Lazy, can't cook, only stock up when mom visits, to mask it. I mostly eat takeout. Gets boring, no matter how tasty. Where are we eating? My place. He stepped aside, revealing the wide-open door across from us. The interior was minimalistic. It was obvious someone had just moved in. I glanced at him, feeling a bit unsure. That's your place? I asked. He nodded. Funny, right? I just found out we bought places next to each other, he chuckled. It's not for any reason besides the fact that this spot has great vibes. It's quiet, peaceful, and by the ocean. Out of all the options, this place felt the most comfortable. Looks like we've both got good taste. I teased him, are you a real estate agent now? Never heard you talk so much before. I doubted his cooking would even be fit for the dogs. He retorted, you're underestimating me. The phrase felt familiar. In the kitchen, the soup was ready. He told me to sit, while he served. On the table were neatly arranged dishes, oil-braised prawns, braised pork ribs, chestnut chicken, cilantro beef, stir-fried broccoli, shredded cabbage, spicy lotus root cubes, and dry-fried green beans. They looked delicious. He placed a pot of corn and pig's trotter soup in the center. I joked, is it New Year's, or are you getting married? He rolled his eyes, a mysterious smirk on his face. Life's full of surprises. The phrase seemed to carry a decade's worth of hidden meaning. I dug in, expecting to criticize, but was surprised at how good it tasted. He glanced at me proudly, raising an eyebrow. Feigning indifference, I stretched out the word, just this? He choked, deflated like a peacock out of energy. I stifled a laugh, sorry, can't handle that smug look. Henry was taking care of me, a bit too much. He banned takeouts, reminding me that I'm not getting any younger and should focus on health. I said, thanks, but no thanks. Yet, every mealtime, my doorbell rang at clockwork, more punctual than any delivery guy. 3 meals daily, never missing any. It forcibly set my routine. If not for his cooking skills, I would have lost my patience. Feeling guilty about freeloading, I offered to pay. He was immediately offended, claiming I was insulting him. Initially, I politely thanked him, but he couldn't stand formalities. One thank you from me, and he'd sarcastically respond 10 times. Eventually, I got more casual. Henry, is dinner ready? Henry, it's time to eat. Henry, I want Coke chicken wings tomorrow. As time passed, we grew more comfortable with each other. It was as if the 10-year gap between us never existed. No matter how long the silence, we remained unchanged. My comic was getting critiqued by readers. They doubted if I'd ever seen a man's physique, saying it lacked any allure. I was good at storytelling, but writing steamy scenes? Not my expertise. Desperate for inspiration, I thought about hiring a male model. Then, strangely, his image popped up in my head. I cursed myself for being inappropriate but couldn't help follow my instincts. After all, his physique looked great now. Henry, do you think we're still best friends? He gave a non-committal grunt. Then, could you do me a favor? Be my model? To ensure clarity, I added, you know, the kind where you take your clothes off. He was sipping water, which he promptly spat out, coughing red in the face. I patted his back, urging, "So, yes or no?" He replied hoarsely, "No." "Henry, don't be unfair. Remember who gave you their favorite pet as a kid? Who saved you their candies? Who helped finish your food when you couldn't? Who always got in trouble with you? Even with only $5 in my pocket, it was a $4 ice cream for you. Are you forgetting all that?" The more I spoke, the more passionate I became. By the end, Henry was expressionless. "Karina, how many times have you said that spiel?" I shrugged. It may not be new, but it works. I watched him with hope. He turned his head away, avoiding eye contact. His refusal was clear, but something inside me sparked. A nameless disappointment swirled. "Fine, I'll ask someone else." As I moved to leave, a force pulled my wrist back. He took a deep breath, shaking his head in amusement, words seeping through gritted teeth. "Who are you gonna ask?" Honestly, I first thought of him, but since he wouldn't agree, I planned to pay someone willing. His eyes roiled with emotion, settling into a calm ripple. "Couldn't you ask me a couple more times? Can't I hesitate a bit?" "Fine. Will you? Will you? Will you?" He stiffened momentarily, cheeks turning red. "When?" "Tonight at 8. Remember to shower." At 8 sharp, I prepped the studio. The doorbell chimed. Opening it, I found a man wrapped in a robe. His lips pursed, expression tense, wet hair dripping. The robe was snug at the waist, revealing his lean figure. I pinched my palm to stop giggling. Never had I seen him so uptight. I led him inside. The room was simple, a bed by the window, a small sofa, wooden frames, and scattered papers. "Where should I sit?" He mumbled gruffly. "Right there, on the bed." To set the mood, I adjusted the lighting warmly. "Ready," I gestured for him to undress. He stared long and sighed. Graceful fingers brushed the belt, the robe loosened. Hard abs, chiseled and sleek, were exposed confidently, exuding understated strength. Half the robe draped seductively, hinting at hidden lines. My throat dry, I started to stop him but noticed his eyes shut tightly, resigned. Swiftly, he shed everything. For moments, my mind went utterly blank. "Wait, he's not wearing anything underneath." I said to take off his clothes. But I didn't mean everything. He slowly opened his eyes, and a red blush spread over his porcelain skin. "Go ahead and draw." His fingertips curled slightly on both sides. Honestly, I kinda wanted to draw him like that. But my hand holding the pencil was shaking. I couldn't even look at him. You just gotta show your upper body." Suddenly, he realized, his face turning completely dark. "Then why didn't you stop me earlier? Nobody told me you'd be that quick." I didn't have a chance. I'd never admit I kinda wanted to see it too. Without a word, he pulled the towel up to his waist. He didn't move an inch. His eyes were like dark tides crashing against the rocks. The air grew thick around us. In the silence, he looked at me, and I focused on the drawing. Those 4 hours that night were some of the toughest to describe. After witnessing it firsthand, his image was stuck in my head. I had so much inspiration I couldn't get it all on paper. For days, I just stayed in the studio. Sometimes, I forgot time existed. Henry couldn't reach me and got worried, so I handed him a spare key to my place. He'd make meals and bring them to me. One night, I got hit with another plot idea. I told Henry I'd skip dinner. I tossed some dirty clothes into the just-fixed washing machine. Set it for an hour. And left it be. Went straight to the studio. I put on my headphones, lost in my own world. When I left the studio, it was already 3 a.m. There was a bowl of sweet soup by the entrance. It was cold, clearly been there for a while. No text or anything, just left there, unusually thoughtful. Things got stranger from there. For days, Henry's gaze seemed darker, his face more somber. Not a word at the dinner table. Except for the clattering dishes he collected. He was like a silent house husband. I was too busy drawing to notice anything. Until now, I took a good look at him and was startled. His eyes were red and his face pale and shadowed. He looked like he belonged in a street art scene. Like a homeless artist. I tentatively asked, "Did something major happen to you?" He didn't answer, just kept staring at my neck. "What's that?" he asked calmly. "Huh?" I was baffled. I checked in the mirror and found a big red mark, already picked at. Probably a mosquito bite. His face tightened. "Why do you have men's slippers at your place?" The question caught me off guard. I thought for a second, then remembered the buy one get one pair from the store the other day. "Oh, those? I got them for you." Tried to play it off. "Smooth talk." He asked, "Really? But they're size 41, and I wear size 43. Well, that was awkward. He seemed to expect it and his expression darkened, any hope fading. He spoke with a new level of sarcasm. "So, you art types look for inspiration, even dedicate yourselves to art?" "For others, who knows, but I could give my life for art, stay up all night painting." "Get out." He cut me off. His smile wasn't angry, more like tears beneath the surface, ready to shatter any moment. It was like a newlywed spouse catching their partner cheating the next day. Except, this was my place. "Fine, I'll go." His back turned, like even glancing my way was too much. What the heck? I just wanted him to model, it's not like I was crossing any lines. I felt so frustrated and annoyed. If he didn't want to pose, he could have just said no. Why does it always feel like he's blaming me after the fact? My head was a mess. Ever since that day, we went cold. I didn't want to cause any trouble. When he called for dinner, I ignored it. Eventually, he stopped calling. I ordered takeout. The doorbell rang. It was my healthy food delivery. The delivery guy wore a black cap and kept his head down, face hidden. He dropped off the meal, not a word, and left. I took a good look at him as he left. When I opened the food inside, I noticed it had been tampered with. The next day, I didn't dare order out again. Just had instant noodles. While taking out the trash, I found a bouquet of white daisies by the door. I thought they got delivered to the wrong place. Because who sends daisies? Then, I saw the note. It read, "From my dear Karina." Chills ran down my spine. Garbage forgotten, I dashed back inside. I wondered if it was some kid's prank when I got a text from an unknown number. "Beautiful Karina, do you like the gift I carefully chose?" Now I was sure some creep was tracking me. The quiet room felt tense. The doorbell rang again, loud and urgent. My heart raced. Thought of crime stories filled my mind. Too scared to answer. When it finally stopped, my back was drenched. I considered calling the cops, but the phone rang. It was Henry. His voice was tight, fast-paced. "Are you home? Did something happen? I'm outside your place." The tension snapped in my mind. Like a drifting boat finally spotting land. I opened the door and hugged him without a word. Tears flowed, streaming down my face. He held me, gently rubbing my back. "Don't worry, I'm here." Once I cried myself out, I ended up on the couch, half leaning against him. Feeling the solid contact on my lower back. I feel my face heating up. He lowers his head, reaches out, and gently presses his fingertip on the damp corner of my eye. What happened? I spill the beans in a few words about possibly being stalked by a psycho. He frowns, the sternness in his eyes deepens. "Call the police, I'll go with you." The cops say it might be someone I know and there's not enough evidence to pin it on the delivery guy yet. They'll need more investigation. After getting back from the station, it hits me. How did you know something happened to me? Your doorbell hasn't rung all day, and you didn't order delivery. This might take some time to sort out. Living alone across the hall isn't safe. Move to my place. He says it casually like we're not even in a Cold War. Looking at the sharp profile of his face, I slowly say, okay. After moving into his place. Neither of us mentions the Cold War. There's this subtle balance between us. He gives me the master bedroom and sleeps in the guest room. When I get up for some water at night, I find him on the sofa instead of where he's supposed to be. The computer screen on the coffee table is still glowing. His long legs are awkwardly curled up, the thin blanket slipping off. Soft moonlight spills in. His dense lashes cast shadows on the bridge of his nose. Breathing shallow and quiet. There's still a chill in the early summer night. I move forward, lifting the edge of the blanket that slipped and covering him up. The next second, he half opens his eyes, with a sleepy haze. He grabs my wrist, tilts his head, and plants a kiss on the inside of my wrist. The soft touch on my skin mixes with the warm humidity on my pulse, nearly setting it ablaze. It feels like my bones were pulled right out from under me. I just stand there dumbfounded. It's not until his breathing evens out that I finally make it back to my room. As the door closes, the guy on the sofa opens his eyes. Clear as day. He half covers his face, flashes a complex expression, conflict and concession all mingled together. The fifth night. The creep got caught. He tried to leave white chrysanthemums at my door again. Henry caught him in the act. That's when I learned why Henry was sleeping on the couch instead of a bed. I almost forgot he studied computer science. Near the door was a better spot for catching someone. The culprit was unexpected. Some dude I went on a date with once. When Henry dragged him off to the station, he was all banged up, missing 2 teeth. The cops asked what happened. His eyes flickered toward Henry, visibly shaking. Henry smirked. Why are you looking at me? Want to accuse me of beating you up? I already said when I saw you, you already had your toothless grin. The date guy shook his head frantically, desperately clutching the officer's hand like it was a lifeline. Officer, I tripped myself. He insisted he wasn't a psycho. Said it was a normal romance between a couple. Officer, why give her white chrysanthemums? Isn't that intimidation? Date guy, gosh no, white chrysanthemums were the cheapest flowers on sale, $6 for a bunch. Officer, then why mess with her delivery orders? Date guy, women never save, ordering expensive food like that. I was just trying it first. Back home, women only eat leftovers. I was fuming, interrogating him. When did I ever say I was dating you? He was downright self-righteous. After meeting up, I thought you were cool. Mom thought you were okay, aside from being lanky, but you could barely fit through our doors. Me, a 5-foot potato like you complaining I'm tall? Henry, when finding someone, it's not all about looks, check yourself too. Snickers start up around us. Finally, the date guy got 7 days of reflection and education for repeat offenses. Since I hadn't been home in a while, I decided to wash all the bed linens. I hit the timer button, and what happens next blows my mind. This washing machine, it's acting up. It's shaking like crazy with some erratic rhythm, making all sorts of moaning noises. It's so loud it echoes through the entire house. Except for my soundproof studio. My ears feel violated. Ridiculous. It's downright ridiculous. Karina, tell it to shut up, and I'll help you find inspiration. Henry's angry, distant voice gets closer and closer from behind me. I spin around. He stands there, expression frozen. Staring at the malfunctioning machine, motionless, nearly speechless. Seriously, it's just washing, why would it make these inappropriate noises? Time stands still for a few seconds. All the pieces in my head come together, forming an absurd idea. Who should get lost? The machine? I gesture at the washer. You don't think it's me making those sounds, do you? He gulps, his Adam's apple bobbing. Face flushed, eyes full of mixed emotions, some guilt shining through as he looks at me. I sneer, you're ridiculous too. Can't you just ask me directly? Straightening his back, his voice steady yet tinged with sorrow. You say leave, so I leave. What else can I do? You're too alluring to fish, yet refuse to marry. They say people spill the truth when drunk. I pulled out a bottle of my dad's hidden stash. Can you drink? He doesn't hesitate. Of course, I can handle anything. I chuckle. We sit there on the couch, sipping side by side. Both of us waiting for something, and we both know. The evening sun sneaks through the window, gently bathing us in golden light. A soft blush tints our faces. With some wine, his lips glisten. His eyes become dreamy and seductive from the booze. I suddenly lean in, face so close our hot breaths mix. You said you'd marry me. Why did you change your mind later? Always wanted an answer from the past. Biting his lip, his voice carrying a hint of grievance. I never said I changed my mind, I was shy, don't you get shy? He sniffs, looking up at the window. Whatever you like, I'll try to be that. But you said you'd wait for me, then you went ahead and dated others. 10 years, no calls. Do you know how I survived these 10 years? I rested my head on his shoulder, gently pinching his earlobe. You're so cute. Just as cute as when you were little. He grunted and turned his head, but his pinky quietly reached out, touching mine, and then we locked fingers tightly. My aunt says you like the more reserved types, but I can't pretend to be like that. Can I just be openly affectionate? With one swift move, he pulled my lower back, pressing me onto the couch. I tried to stifle a laugh, didn't reply. Things were getting pretty intense. He slowly leaned in, his breathing getting heavier. Suddenly, we heard the door open. Before we could react, we saw Aunt Shen and my mom standing dumbfounded in the doorway, the living room scene totally exposed. The next second, they naturally turned around, pretending not to see anything. Once outside, they couldn't suppress their laughter. See, I told you these two kids get along so well. I told you we'd end up being in-laws someday. I wrapped my arm around him and joked, oh, looks like we're about to turn this act into reality. He corrected me seriously, silly, it's obvious the wedding's coming. Yeah, the wedding's coming. We lost touch in the passing seasons, but now, we're sharing everything again in these blossoming days.